What's up, adventure travelers? We are on our way to Jerash. Been on the road for 15 minutes, still on the outskirts of Amman. Look at that. Look at those buildings. Wow. It's a pretty intense place, Amman. It's pretty built up. But it'd be a little bit boring if everywhere was the same, wouldn't it? And there's the highway in front of us. So not far to Jerash, only about an hour in total. So we should be there, you know I'm going to say it, in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Go make yourself a drink and I'll be down in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
I will talk to you soon. Well, we're almost there, and I haven't ridden one bit of flat piece of road the whole way. Look at that. Should be there in about 10 minutes. Let's go. And here we are at Jerash. I think I said Jerash on the way. It's hard to keep track of all these names. Anyway, it was touch and go whether I came up here after seeing lots of Roman ruins. You know, you get a bit wary of seeing more, but boy, am I glad I made the trek. Look at that. Unreal. Jerash is a Roman city built in the 4th century, and it was visited by the Emperor Hadrian back in the day. The complex is actually huge. This is just the beginning of it, and I think it's going to take me a good hour or 2 to get through it all. But don't worry, I'm not going to subject you to 2 hours of Roman ruins. So we've just come through the gate there, and in behind is this mammoth building there. Alrighty, we are now at the Hippodrome, which in Latin means circus, but it's actually an arena for chariot racing and gladiator fighting. So let's check it out. Here is the alleyway down. It's the way up to the seats. But here is where the gladiators came out. Wow.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Look at that. How cool is this? There's the seating. The place originally seated 17,000 people, and after they finished using it for competitions, it actually became a burial site during the plague. So that's pretty gruesome. Let's go have a look under the arches where you can look over the city from the Hippodrome. Oh. How good is this? That is Jerash. That's the main entrance that we came through. And that is the Hippodrome. And we're only just beginning. Here are the stables where they used to keep the horses. Look at that. So you'd come in here, you'd get your chariot or your horse ready. I'm not sure if a chariot would fit through those doors up the front, but yeah, check it out. Alright, just wrapping up on the Hippodrome. We're at the far end, and I'm going to give you the view down to where we were before. Pretty epic. There you go. Imagine the gladiators fighting and the chariots racing around. There's the seating at the far end. Okay, let's keep moving. Alright, here we are at the next stage of the walk. More ruins. So this is what's known as the South Gate. It's pretty impressive. Not as big as the other gate. They think it's a formal entrance to the city, and that the other gate was built after it to honour Emperor Hadrian's visit. And there we go. Wow. Certainly impressive. So the city was destroyed hundreds of years later in an earthquake, and no doubt it was abandoned after that. And we have made it to the Ovalplaza. This is one of the highlights of Jerash. Look at that. It is epic. There's something about these Roman columns that are just so impressive. And you put them all together in a plaza like this. And that's where we're going, up there. I think that's the Temple of Zeus, but we'll find out. Okay, it says this is the sanctuary of Zeus Olympius. And then a temple was built up on the hill later on. It's a fairly big area. And there's your temple up there. Let's get up there. So here we are coming up to the front of the temple. Wow, pretty crazy stuff. And we're here in the Temple of Zeus, and what a view it is. And that is the oval where we were before, and it leads all the way over there to some massive columns. That's actually quite far away, but we might as well head over there. So here's the temple itself. It's relatively small. I guess you don't need a whole lot of space. Still very impressive. And the view towards the oval is the most impressive of all. Look at these 2,000-year-old or 1,500-year-old blocks carved that have fallen down in the earthquake. Just really cool. And coming out the side of Zeus's temple, I think I found a little amphitheatre of sorts. Here it is. Let's head over there now to see what it is. Columns, columns, more columns. And in we go. Is it a theatre? Let's see. I think I was right. Here we are on the stage. Wondering how the Scottish got involved, as I am, I have no idea. Alright, I'm just standing on the edge of the oval, and in behind me is the main drag that goes through the rest of the city. So let's walk through there now. The paving isn't exactly flat and unimpeding, So you got to be careful you don't go arse over tit. One nickname they've given Jerash is the Pompeii of the East, and the little that I remember from my visit to Pompeii 50 years ago, yes, I was there as a wee 5-year-old, but still I can certainly say there's a lot of similarities. The main thing I remember from 50 years ago are the massive curbs and the roads, and this is certainly the same Roman architecture. It's probably hard to tell, but the remains of these little buildings, they're actually shops. After Muhammad started cutting a sway through the Middle East in the 7th century, they built a mosque here. And here it is, lovely circular stairs going up. You've still got your Roman columns in behind, but you can see the low wall, the remains of the mosque. There it is. Look at those beauties that we're going to be walking in between in a couple of minutes. Imagine coming down here in your chariot 1500, 1600 years ago. Two things I never knew I had an affinity for before I started this trip: camels and Roman columns. Alright, we're just up off the main drag here, and in behind us is a cathedral built in the 400s. Not sure what that big dish is, but there it is. Pretty epic. The Romans did a good job. The cathedral was nice, but I have just found the Temple of Artemis. Wow. Let's go check out what's at the top of those stairs. Alrighty, we're at the top of the steps, and way over there, that's the Temple of Zeus and the theatre next door. And here we are at the Temple of Artemis. And those are the massive columns that we saw from way away. Let's go get a closer look. Here are the columns around the edge of the temple. They're just so impressive, it's mind-blowing to wonder what it would be like fully built, and the whole building there. That's where we're heading. Here we are at the steps of the temple, and look at that. Just crazy. The inside of the temple is gated off, but let's get inside. Look at that. There's your altar up there. And just to keep you company, the local herd of goats turns up for a snack. Here they are, coming down from over there. Only in Jordan, huh? Just when you think you're getting to the end, it just keeps on giving. I guess, to be fair, this place was a city that housed 20,000 people at one point, so you're not gonna just walk through it in half an hour. I'm guessing that this is another theatre. Let's get around the front and have a look. And there we've got some more beloved columns. Okay, it is not a theatre. I have just read that it is a basilica. So what's a basilica? From what I'm read, it's a town hall type building where civic meetings took place and local council discussions and public meetings, that sort of thing. Here we are. Alrighty, well, it may be a basilica, but it's pretty much identical to the theatres. You've got your area down the front and your seating in the back, and here's your stage. Lucky last for the day will be the north entrance to the city, which is got two impressive arches and a main dragon between the two of them. Here's a side view of one of the arches. So we're going to walk around to the front of it and walk down the main street. And here it is, the main strip that leads to the north entrance. I guess these archways or gates were just various levels of security. And it's amazing that they're still standing. Let's go for a walk. Maybe they had guards here, who knows. Probably about 100 metres to the main gate, so let's get it done and wrap it up. Beautiful columns, look at those. Cobblestones are relatively flat. I'm sure they were a lot flatter when they were laid, and the earthquake and subsequent ground movement over the years has just moved them around a bit. And we have made it up close and personal to the north gate of Jerash. Well, pretty sure I've done the whole lot, and if I've missed one or two bits, well then so be it. But pretty happy that I made the effort to do the 1 hour motorcycle ride here, and despite clumping around in motorcycle pants and boots, it's been well worth it, no complaints. One last look at this beautiful gate. And we are off back to where we came. Let's get walking. So if you enjoyed that visit to Jezra, give the video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to support the channel, please share it with family and friends. Wow, look at these green hills. We are on our way back to Amman. If you'd like to know more about the ride from New Zealand to Ireland, please go to twowheelstoeverywhere.com. If you're not aware, I'm raising money for the intellectually disabled community in New Zealand for an organisation called the IHC. And if you'd like to know more about the IHC, please go to ihc.org.nz. If you're following along with this video series, please consider donating to the IHC. That can be done through my Give a Little page. The link is on the screen and it's also in the description below. Alrighty, I'm going to wrap this video up from the green hills of Jordan. Not a bad view to end the video. So thank you all for watching. Remember to travel safe and see you on the road.